Manu Smriti, also known as the Laws of Manu, is one of the oldest and most significant texts in Hindu mythology, offering a detailed set of guidelines for social, moral, and legal conduct. Composed as a Dharma Shastra, a scripture on law and ethics, it lays down the rules and principles governing various aspects of life, including caste duties, family roles, and social hierarchy. The arguments and principles in Manu Smriti have had a profound impact on the structure and functioning of traditional Indian society for centuries. Caste system and social hierarchy. One of the most contentious aspects of Manu Smriti is its detailed codification of the Varna caste system. It divides society into four main groups: Brahmins, priests and scholars; Kshatriyas, warriors and rulers; Vaishyas, merchants and traders; and Shudras, laborers and servants. The text outlines the specific duties, rights, and responsibilities of each caste, creating a rigid social order. It places Brahmins at the top, emphasizing their role in religious rituals and spiritual guidance, while Shudras are relegated to serving the upper castes. This hierarchical system, as described in Manu Smriti, led to deeply entrenched social divisions that affected people's lives, opportunities, and status in society. Gender roles and patriarchal norms. Manu Smriti also presents arguments that establish a patriarchal framework, placing men as the dominant authority figures in both family and society. It dictates strict roles for women, emphasizing their obedience to fathers, husbands, and sons throughout their lives. The text suggests that women should be protected and controlled, as they were seen as inherently dependent on men. These guidelines contributed to the cultural and legal practices that restricted women's rights and freedoms, promoting the idea that a woman's primary duty was to uphold family honor and domestic responsibilities. This codification of gender roles reinforced the marginalization of women in many areas of public and private life. Laws of marriage and family marriage, as described in Manu Smriti, is a sacred institution governed by strict rules and rituals. The text emphasizes the importance of marriage in maintaining social order and prescribes the appropriate ways to conduct weddings, dowry practices, and the roles of husband and wife. It outlines different forms of marriage, with some considered more prestigious than others, based on the social status of the individuals involved. Manu Smriti also sets down laws regarding the conduct of married life, emphasizing the wife's duty to remain loyal and subservient to her husband. These rules laid the foundation for marriage practices that persisted in Indian society for generations, often limiting women's autonomy and decision-making power. Ethical and moral codes. Beyond its emphasis on social hierarchy and gender roles, Manu Smriti provides a broad framework of ethical and moral behavior. It outlines concepts of dharma, duty, karma, action, and punya, virtue, guiding individuals on how to live righteous lives. The text encourages honesty, compassion, humility, and respect for elders, laying out the principles of good conduct. These moral codes were intended to maintain social order and harmony by promoting values that align with religious and ethical standards. However, while these principles were noble in intent, their application was often skewed to uphold the privileged position of higher castes and men. Influence on legal systems. Manu Smriti has historically influenced legal systems in India, particularly during ancient and medieval times. Its laws were used as the basis for administering justice in Hindu courts, where punishments and legal decisions were often guided by the caste and gender of the individuals involved. The severity of penalties varied according to caste, with Brahmins receiving more lenient punishments compared to Shudras or other lower castes for similar offenses. This unequal treatment under the law reinforced social discrimination and perpetuated a system of injustice that favored the upper castes, leading to widespread criticism and demands for legal reforms in later centuries. Societal impact and criticism. The rigid social norms and divisive ideologies outlined in Manu Smriti have faced significant criticism over time, particularly in modern contexts. Social reformers and thinkers like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Mahatma Gandhi condemned the text for its role in promoting caste-based discrimination and gender inequality. Ambedkar, a prominent leader of the Dalit community, denounced Manu Smriti for its dehumanizing treatment of lower castes and campaigned for its rejection in building a more equitable society. The growing awareness and resistance to these discriminatory practices eventually led to the emergence of social movements aiming to dismantle the caste system and uplift marginalized communities. Legacy and modern reinterpretation. In contemporary society, Manu Smriti's influence has significantly diminished, yet its legacy continues to evoke debate and reflection. While some traditionalists still regard it as a guide to ethical conduct, many modern scholars and activists view it as a historical document that reflects the socio-cultural norms of its time rather than a prescriptive authority for today. Efforts to reinterpret and reevaluate the text in the light of human rights, gender equality, and social justice have become more prevalent. India's legal framework today is based on principles of equality and secularism, consciously moving away from the rigid codes outlined in Manu Smriti. Yet its historical impact remains a critical reminder of the need to challenge and evolve societal norms to promote justice and equality for all. While Manu Smriti has historically influenced the social order, its relevance and interpretation have sparked significant debates in modern society. Many argue that its strict guidelines on caste and gender roles are outdated, promoting inequality and discrimination that no longer align with contemporary values of equality and justice. Awareness of Manu Smriti today involves a critical re-examination of its teachings, encouraging society to embrace the wisdom it offers on ethical living while rejecting aspects that conflict with principles of human rights and social progress.